Do You Want to Taste It by Wigwam has been stuck in my head all year. Thanks to Peacemaker, it is the opening theme song of this series. And yeah, I'm talking about it like the year's almost over. But in the last 2 months now, I think that Peacemaker is probably my favorite new thing I've watched so far. So let's talk about it. What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Ryan here. Today, we're going to talk about Peacemaker on HBO Max. The show just ended about a week ago at the time of recording, and I really liked it. Like I said, I'm going to kind of dive right in to talk about what I loved about it and all that good stuff. Probably going to go into some spoilers here and there, so let's talk about Peacemaker.
Are you kidding me?
Did this dipshit really show up in full cosplay mode?
This is the guy Waller's giving us. I told you she's fucking us.
She's not fucking us.
Is that an eagle in his back seat?
She's fucking us.
So first and foremost, I think that James Gunn was very much so James Gunn based on what I've seen him create prior, and I knew that he had a vision. He rolled with it. Warner Brothers let him have this, and his creative freedom led to a really, really enjoyable show, not unlike the predecessor in The Suicide Squad, a film that I loved last year. And I always like John Cena on screen. He has a pretty charismatic, fun presence. I think he's funny, and I liked his character in The Suicide Squad. I believe that the series was greenlit before the film even aired. I didn't know what to expect, and it sounded like kind of weird at first. Like, why would he be getting a series? What about all these other main DC characters that everyone knows? But I think that's why it works, because we got a random character and like it really worked. Peacemaker is able to explore this character in Christopher Smith, someone who talks about peace. He talks about doing the right thing, but then he kills people. A lot of people in a lot of violent ways, and he talks about it in the movie too, in The Suicide Squad, about how he'll do anything to achieve peace.
I cherish peace with all my heart. I don't care how many men, women, and children I need to kill to get it.
And it is obviously contradictory, and I think the series does a really good job at exploring him as a character, because he learns about himself. He learns that he does some pretty messed up things, and it's not always acceptable. He learns from his mistakes, and he has humanity. He always did, but like he earns it, and he finds it in himself. I think by the end, he learned a lot about himself and he grows, and I think that's awesome. Obviously, character growth is like one of the most important things in a good series, in a good story, and they did a really good job with that. I like it. I liked watching him actually like have a bond with pretty much everyone in the main group, having feelings that he didn't have in the beginning. You know, at first he's kind of a dick, to be completely honest, and then he sort of gradually comes to respect his team, and he sort of comes to respect himself, and he's emotional, and there are moments where he breaks down, and it works so well. So Peacemaker nails it in the character growth department of this character. The rest of the cast is honestly pretty great. I really enjoyed everybody in their own right.
You don't have to shoot people after you already killed them.
Right.
I thought that John Economos was just a really fun guy in the chair, you know, doing the technical work. He always gets kind of made fun of and stuff, and he's kind of like the butt of the joke, but they care for him, and he's really funny. He's like kind of goofy, and I thought that the character was just like really enjoyable. Harcourt was a really good character in the way that I felt like she went from being very hard, very stubborn, serious, stick to the job, sort of not like Peacemaker at all, and then gradually she started to open up. She started to kind of build a better relationship with her teammates, including with Peacemaker. There were some really awesome moments between them, including the ending. I'm excited to see where they go with her. Leota Adebayo was, in a way, I felt like she was taking the lead in some of the show. I'm all for that, because this is a relatable character in some ways. She's not someone who has superpowers. She's not wearing a suit of armor. She can't be taking bullets and stuff and the hits like some of the other characters do, and she's scared. She admits that. She really got into the job because her mom, Amanda Waller, gave her the chance to get work, and she's someone who brings humanity to the team in a lot of ways, and I absolutely love that about her. Adebayo was a very humane character. She definitely provided some good laughs with her sort of banter with the other characters, especially Peacemaker, and just the way she just thought he was just ridiculous. I think that her relationship with Peacemaker is also really nice. There's doubt in the beginning, and then there's a friendship, and then there's a lot of kind of anger and betrayal, and then in the end, they kind of work things out, and there's potential that they really are going to be close. And I think that she likes this line of work now, even though she's someone who just train dogs and stuff like that. So a really nice touch for the team, a character I never would have expected in a superhero show like this. This team is definitely kind of random, and I enjoyed that quite a bit. I think that an easy standout was Adrian Chase. What's funny is, coming off of Arrow, being one of my favorite shows, and hearing the name Adrian Chase, I was thinking of Prometheus, and I was very much so shocked. I'm not a comic book reader, so I had to find out that they're not the same character, that's for sure. But this Adrian, he's hilarious. The banter between him and Peacemaker, they nail it. They're really funny together. They're really stupid together. They crack jokes. They have inside jokes. They're goofy. They're a lot of fun. And he's a badass too. And he doesn't necessarily look like he would be until he does it, until he starts fighting, and until he puts on his vigilante suit. And he's really cool. But he was definitely it's weird to say a comic relief because the whole show was just nonstop humor. But I felt like he was purposely the funniest one. That worked really well for me. And then the other main character was Myrn, definitely the leader type for sure. I didn't get as much at first from this character, enjoying it, but then I started to see where they were going with it. Spoiler alert, but he was a butterfly all along. And then we started to get more and more development of this character in a very interesting manner, because technically this guy Myrn was already dead, but the original version of him was not a good person. He was bad. So then the butterfly got to sort of take over and create a humane person, a leader, someone who would make things right.
Say you've done some real hardcore stuff.
I'm trying to do what I can to make up for my past.
That just gets into the whole interesting idea of the butterflies in Peacemaker, which I think in the finale they really kind of finish up where, Peacemaker realized that there's messed up things that he can and can't fix. The butterflies, despite the fact that they do some bad things, really bad things, and take over humans, they have intentions to survive. They're a species that want to survive, and they do what they can, and it's a pretty interesting thing to think about, I guess. The lead up to the butterflies for a Peacemaker series, I liked it because you don't know what they're talking about at all. Everyone's leaving Peacemaker out. Everyone's not talking about it because they're kind of learning as they go. You start to find out gradually about this alien species. It was definitely weird. It wasn't necessarily the villain I would have expected, or I would go as far as saying something I didn't necessarily knew I wanted, but I liked what they did, the way that they took over pretty much everybody, and that was it. It gave them, the team, chances to get some awesome action in, that's for sure. The other villain, obviously, in Peacemaker was White Dragon. Spoiler alert here, that Peacemaker's father, who created all the suits and the helmets and stuff, he was a white supremacist villain called the White Dragon. Again, as someone who doesn't read comics and doesn't know too much about all these, deep lore in DC, no idea who this character was, didn't expect that. I'm sure other people did, but I really liked the conflict between him and his son. He is horrible. I mean, he's such an unlikable person, and I think that made him such a good villain. And I actually liked that aspect, that antagonist, more than the butterflies. Even though the butterflies were taking up most of the actual story, I liked that was a big part of the show as well. And I liked seeing him finally put on that admittedly really cool looking suit. And I loved, obviously major spoiler here, but how Peacemaker got to finally kill his father. It was really satisfying, and it was really heart-wrenching because I know he didn't want to do it.
Well, go ahead and do it, you fucking pussy. I knew you couldn't do it, you faggot. Because I control you, whether or not I kill you. You'll never be able to get the fuck away from me.
The thing is, his father made him and his brother fight. I was wondering, what happened to his brother? And then next thing you know, we finally get to see it where they were actually fighting. Chris, Peacemaker, kills his brother. And even though he physically did it, his father was the one who encouraged it, and his father called him out on everything and made him look like he's the villain. His father is an awful person. I like that by the end of the show, even though he killed his father, the guy still haunts Peacemaker. He's still always going to be there. And I think that the way they showed it, you know, spoiler for the very end of the show here, the last episode, the final scene, we see that his father shows up there, but obviously he's dead. But I think that's something that Peacemaker had to learn to cope with, and he did. But he's not quite there yet. I think season 2, which was confirmed, so that's awesome. I think he'll explore that some more. I'm sure we'll get some more of some flashbacks and stuff maybe. Yeah, no, I mean, the White Dragon storyline and the father-son thing there was really done well. Peacemaker is all about being funny. The show, it definitely leaned into like the mature humor, lots of explicit language and dick jokes. The violence is there for sure, like I said, very mature, which works because it's an HBO Max series. James Gunn went all out with just being absurd in the humor. Obviously, some of the jokes are a little stupid, but generally speaking, like most of the time, I was laughing, or at least, you know, I was enjoying the comedy aspect of it. It landed on the serious stuff, and it also was able to be a funny show overall. It didn't actually like miss the mark. It didn't make the mistake of having a dramatic moment and then ruining it by trying to just throw in a joke just to appeal to people. It knew when to be serious and dark, and it works that way. I think the tones were actually done really well. Overall, I think this series was just super easy to enjoy. Like, it was 8 episodes that each one felt like it was too short, even though it wasn't that short. It would be probably a really smooth binge watch. Obviously, I watched it like most of you probably each week. Yeah, Peacemaker is just super enjoyable. It's genuinely an entertaining series. I think that is one of the best DC shows I've seen. I mean, I used to love all the stuff from the CW, like the Arrowverse, but I think it's really lost its way. I have yet to actually watch Titans or Doom Patrol, but I will eventually. But I loved this show quite a bit, and I think it does do things that MCU shows last year, despite some of them being really awesome, didn't do or probably will never do. Peacemaker, the series, is full of really fun moments, an interesting cast that has some really fantastic relationships explored between them, some great character development, awesome action scenes, excellent use of music, and it's just super fun and funny. So yeah, if you guys have not seen it yet, I highly recommend it. If you guys have seen it, which I'd like to think most of you probably have because there are spoilers throughout this video, let me know in the comments, like, what do you guys think about it? Did you enjoy it as much as I did? I know as I scroll through TikTok, I'm seeing tons of really positive reception on the show, so are you guys in the same boat or not? And if not, what did you not like about it? What do you want from season 2? Let's talk about all things Peacemaker. And yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for me, guys. I appreciate your time here as always. Thanks for watching. Like I said, share me all your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.